Hello, my dear friends of grade 4. In this video, inshallah, we will do worksheet based on chapter 3, lesson 1 and 2. So these are a group of questions about both lessons. Hope you guys will be amused to do it with me in this video. And yes, of course, if you have any questions, you can write them down in your notebook and then you can send it to me anytime, or you can wait till the extra care session to ask me. But just make sure you write them down so you will not forget. So let's start with the worksheet. It's going to be so easy, guys, so do not worry about this. Let's start with question number 1. Brooke Hoppen's main line of defense comes from their sharp. Okay, so the question means that these type of organisms, they defend themselves because they have a sharp, well, those sharp spikes are called quills. So it's going to be quills. Yes, exactly. Okay, guys, so now you learned about pork coppins and how they have these sharp quills. They look like feathers, but they are not actually. Some people used to use them to write with in old times with some ink. Yeah, this is a fun fact. Number 2, sharks are great swimmers because they have adapted teeth, fins, gills to help them swim. Yes, it's obvious. They are great swimmers because they have adapted fins that help them to swim as fast as they do. What if I wanted to say that sharks are great predators, for example? That's because they have sharp teeth that help them tear the meat, and also they are so fast in swimming. Number 3, which of the following is the ability of an animal to fit into its surrounding? Hibernate, migrate, camouflage. So fit here, guys, could be with a lot of meanings. It could mean to, adapt, to be best adapted, to survive more. But in this question, it means to blend in with the environment, to be kind of invisible with its surroundings. So it's not going to, go into sleep-like state, which means hibernation. It's not gonna change its place. It needs to fit when with its surrounding. So in this case, it means to camouflage. That's right. Number 4, bears are able to survive winter months because they do which of the following? Let's think about it. They do not run away exactly or go into another place. They will not hunt because there is no enough food during winter and they need energy to hunt. So if they cannot find food, that means they will not be able to hunt because they need energy for. And of course, not fish. Of course, they will not go fishing for this. It's the same as hunting. So it's hibernate, exactly. To go into a sleep-like state to save energy. So they go and eat a lot of amount of food in autumn or fall when it gets a little bit cooler. So they have by instinct or they feel by instinct that winter is coming, and that's why they start eating a lot of food in order to store them so they can go into a sleep-like state during the winter. Number 5, when the seasons change, animals such as geese, salmon, and whales elsewhere to find a new place to live. So they run, they hunt, they migrate elsewhere to find a new place to live. Exactly, they travel to another place where they can find better food, they can find warmth, they can escape from coldness. So it's going to be migrate. That's right. Number 6, an adaptation is So, in questions like this, guys, I need you to read all the options. I mean, basically, in all the choosing part, you need to read all the options and think which one is the better answer, the one that fits the question the best. Um, so, an adaptation is a place where an organism lives. Of course not, because adaptation is not a place, it's something the animal does or things they have in their appearance. So it's not a place. A place where an organism lives, that's a habitat, remember? We need to have all the food, the water, the shelter in it, so we can call it a habitat. Okay, now choice number two, a characteristic that improves the organism's ability to survive. That's close to the true answer. But let's read the last choice just to make sure that we picked up the right one. A stage in an animal's life cycle. Exactly. This is not an adaptation. So it's going to be B, a characteristic or feature that improves the organism's ability to survive. It makes it more adapted. It's fittest between other organisms. Okay. Now skunks protect themselves by using this organism on the right. Okay. We all know that this organism, excretes or produces a liquid that contains really bad smell. So it uses what protects itself by using scent. Exactly. Yes. It just do this bad smell that, you know, makes its predators escape. Number eight, giraffes are able to eat the leaves because of their, that's so easy, right? Long, short, thin, because of their long necks. Exactly. According to the evolution theory made by Darwin, if you guys learned about this before or just saw it somewhere, um, some of the giraffes did not have long necks and they couldn't actually survive in all times because they couldn't reach the food on trees, and that's why they died with time, because the food on the ground just became less and less, and that's why they died, because they couldn't reach the trees. And only the one that survived where the giraffes were long with long necks, and that's why they still survive till our time now, because they were the one that produced and made more offsprings carrying the same genes, which is the long neck in this case. The one with short necks, of course, couldn't reproduce or make new babies because they died so soon. And that's why we don't have them right now in our times. This is also a type of adaptation, guys. Number nine, a place where an organism or group of organisms live and obtain food, air, water, which means get food, air, water, shelter, or space, light they need to survive is called. Exactly, it's a habitat. That's right. But let's read all the choices. I'm sorry, guys, I pressed it in the wrong way. Habitat. It cannot be location, of course, and it's not an adaptation. It's not something the animal do, or I'm sorry, it's not something the animal does or something the animal has, right? Number 10, some animals have special adaptations for living in their particular habitat. For example, in a cold habitat, animals may have, let's read all the question, all the choices we have. Fats and fur, gills, wings. That's so easy, right? Yes, in cold places, animals need to stay warm, so they need more fur or sometimes fats. That's why penguins are a little bit fat, because they contain a lot of fat under their skin that actually isolate their bodies from the cold environment around them. That's why polar bears, for example, are a little bit huge in size. They have thick fur and they also have a lot of fat under their skin that allows them to stay warm during cold weather. So, yes, fats are important in animals, so it can, keep them warm. In habitats where food is scarce, which means little to be found, Some animals may have long necks to obtain food or special storage structures for food and water. It is true. Yes. Organisms or animals like camels, they have hump where they store the food and water into a shape of into a form of fat so they can get the food back. It's not the real food, but it's just in a form of fat or certain chemicals so they can feed on it when there is no food. Number 12, which is not an example of an animal's behavioral adaptation. It's not an example. So we need exactly a physical adaptation, not something the animal do. Taking flight, mimicry, or claws. Exactly. It's claws or mimicry. Yes, this is totally right, guys. Both options are real or true, which is not an example of an animal's behavior adaptation. Taking a flight is a behavior adaptation. That's something the organism will do. But mimicry and claws are both physical adaptation. Exactly, something the animal has. They can go and imitate another organism or look like another organism, or having claws helps them to catch a prey. Of course, in the quiz, you will not have multiple choices to choose from, but you will, similar choices to choose from. But this is an example that you guys can have more than one choice, right? But in the quiz, it's not going to be this mix up. Do not worry. Number 13, hibernation is a resting state or a sleeping like state that helps animals survive in the summer heat. Okay. Some people will just go pick true because, they did not continue reading the sentence till the end. So, guys, make sure you read the whole question and read all the options you have. So, in here, he said that hibernation is a resting state that helps animals survive. If he stopped at this point, this is a true sentence. But he continued saying, in the summer heat. No, animals do not need to hibernate during summer. They hibernate during the winter because they need to save energy. Remember? Exactly. So this sentence is false. See, that's why we need to read the whole sentence, guys. You need to revise after, doing your exam, for example. Just go and read the question again and again and read all the options you have again, just as you are doing the exam from the beginning. So revising is not going there and checking if you left a question. Revising the quiz means to go and do the questions again, read them again, and read the choices again. Maybe you just made a mistake and you did not notice. Maybe you will notice this mistake when you revise. Number 14, migration is a form of eating, the movement of animals from one place to another, or a resting state that helps animals survive in the winter months. Exactly, it's the movement, the traveling from one place to another. Number 15, a color or pattern that allows an animal to blend in with the environment. Blend in means to be invisible with the surroundings. So, this is exactly camouflage. Number 16, one advantage of camouflage is that it allows the animal to sneak up on its prey. Yes, it's a true one. Have you ever wondered why, for example, some wolves or polar bears have white fur? Do they need to camouflage? Yes, that will make it a lot easier for them to attack the prey because they will be invisible for the prey. So they will not have to, run for long distances. They just can be sitting there and the prey will not sense them because they cannot see the difference in color. So, yes, camouflage is important also for some predators to catch their prey. Number 17, food chains contains three types of organisms. Food chains contain three types of organisms. This is a preparing question for the next part of we are going to continue the next lesson. So these questions are for you guys to guess. Food chains contain three types of organisms. Which of the following is not a part of the food chain? That's so easy, right? It's a carpenter. What is that? Well, that's something you guys will learn, that consumers are organisms that cannot make their own food, not like plants. Most of the animals, or all of the animals, are actually consumers. We humans are consumers because we cannot make our own food. We cannot go through photosynthesis. We need to hunt or get the food or cook the food, not like plants, which are called producers because they can make their own food. We'll not talk a lot about this part. It's just these questions are for you guys to guess the answer, okay? Number 18 enables an animal to hide from predators or prey. Yes, it's camouflage. But mimicry helps the organisms scare their predators or keep them away, because they look like another dangerous animals. So don't you guys mix between camouflage and mimicry. Camouflage helps them hide because they become invisible. They blend in with the environment. But mimicry helps them scare their predators. That's right. Number 19, a behavior that an animal learns is called a behavioral adaptation. Yes, but we call this, to be more specific, a learned behavioral adaptation. Okay. Instinct is not a learned one. It's a type of behavioral adaptation, but it's not a learned one. Number 20 is having certain body parts for hair colors to help the animal hide. Exactly. This is the physical adaptation. And now write the scientific term. What I mean by that is that we need to use maybe one word, two words, three words in order to just, summarize the whole sentence. So the word we're going to write or the term we are going to use will be the same meaning as the whole sentence. So, for example, number 1, a trait or a behavior that helps an animal survive in the environment. This is this sentence makes it up for exactly adaptation. Okay. Number 2, a behavior an animal does, of course, this is does, what is this? Does without being taught, did not learn to do it. It's just born with this behavior, like crying, drinking, making a web and spiders. Exactly, this is called an instinct. Okay, guys, let me change its color so it will be more obvious for you. Okay, now back to number 3. To go into a sleep-like state in winter. Exactly, it's hibernation, that's right. Number 4, to travel from one place to another in order to find better food, to find more water, to find worms, and get back again. Exactly, it's migration. Last but not least, colors and shapes or patterns that distinguish, or disguise, which means to help the organism hide in the environment, or to know to blend in, so he can help it to hide. When I say hide, that means it's camouflage, okay? Because mimicry does not help him to hide. He's actually so obvious for other organisms to notice, but it's so scary for them, so they will not attack it because they think it's a predator. They think it's an owl while it's a butterfly, for example. So when I say hiding, it means camouflage, to blend in with the environment. So you guys do not worry. It's not going to be confusing for you. You just have to read the whole sentence for that. Okay? Again, guys, if you have any questions about these parts, you can send to me anytime. There will be another worksheet, inshallah, as soon as possible, and we will do it together also. So don't forget, if you guys have any questions, write them down in your notebook and ask me in the extra care session or in any time you want. Do not hesitate to send me. Thank you guys for staying till the end, and hope you get the benefit from this worksheet. And see you next time. Bye.